Shahnabi, Shadow Secretary. She gave us some of the history that Narendra was pivotal to in this country. If truth be told, this history stays with us if we want it to. And it's up to us to make sure that people don't forget what Diane was talking about black sections and about Narendra's role in it. I should say, we are here in this auditorium, and this Bernie Grant Arts Centre is Narendra's second home. When he wasn't with his family, he was often here, very much. He was the chair of the Bernie Grant Arts Trust, which is many of the chairmanships and directorships that he was involved with. And as Diane said there, he would never ever claim any of the glory for himself. A remarkable man. But even though we are here gathered, there are many thousands of other people that are watching these proceedings live on the live stream. Colin over there is filming the whole thing. It's been live streamed on the internet. There are people from all over the world who are paying tribute to Narendra as we do. Diane said something a moment ago, which was that Narendra wasn't just a political colleague, he was also a friend. I don't know if there's anybody who has worked with him that didn't become a friend of his. Kingsley is one of those people, and I'd like to welcome him to the lectern to speak and say a few words.
Thank you very much, Chair. It's always a pleasure to follow Diane Abbott, our Shadow Home Secretary, the next Home Secretary of this beloved country. Who would think that young woman with a black section t-shirt and a small afro would be our Shadow Home Secretary all these years later, as black sections was going through our struggle. I talk about the afro. If my daughter's in the audience, and she would have spotted her dad with his afro in some of those pictures. She would remember, when she'll know I did that here at some point in time. My name, if you don't know me, is Kingsley Abrams. I was the youth organizer of Black Section. I held a number of other positions, but I was also, which I like very much, the national secretary. I came through and became the national secretary of the Black Section. I'm now the General Secretary of Momentum Black Caucus, a serious group of black Corbynistas. We take no prisoners, and we are serious about Corbyn getting into government with the Labour Party at the next general election. There will be no deviation. You may have seen in those pictures as well, Narendra had several books, but you might have picked up Steve Biko, I Like What I Write. And that was the underpinning politics of Black Section, of Pan-Africanism, of Black self-organization, that we will define ourselves. No one defines us. And we will determine where our struggle goes. And that's what Black Section, that's what Narendra, as chair, was all about. Keep an eye on that right hand of Narendra in that picture. That right hand. As he sits in the chair, and we go round and around the table in the Bellas, Diane Abbott, Mark Osmore, Mark Wasworth, and we go round and round. Narendra raises that right hand, that's behind me, and he says, look, this is what we need to do. He says, we will do this, we will do that, we will do the other. Has everyone in this meeting agreed? Agreed? And that was policy. And that was Narendra summing up. But it's a pleasure to be here this evening. Narendra, a legend, a friend. You don't realize until all these years later, you've been asked to make a speech about somebody like Narendra. You have to dig deep, because he takes you back over 30 years as a friend, as a councillor, chair of a health authority. He was involved in getting Black History Month set up. The chair of the Bernie Grant Centre, who else better to be that? The chair of the Anti-Racist Alliance, as the Black Section leadership moved in to set up the Anti-Racist Alliance, and uncle, etc., etc. But tonight I've been asked to focus on Black Sections. Narendra was our chair, and a very good one. of black sections. And I can hear someone, a young Corbinista, asking what is black section and what this black section was all about. But I'll try and explain a bit about what black section was about. What it was about black self-organization. The right of black people to organize themselves, articulate their aspirations and ambitions, and take it into a major political party in Britain. Before black section, of course, we had Keith Va's Labour Party Race Action Group in the 70s. We had the late Bernie Grant Black Trade Union Solidarity Group around 1981. And in 1983, black sections were set up in Herbert Morrison House. Paddington, where Diane Abbott used to live, became our first black section branch after we were set up in 1983. I met Narendra Makanji, Mr. Makanji, around 84, 85, when I was elected or co-opted those days as its youth organizer. I was the youngest person in the circle, and I was made the youth organizer. And I joined a committee, a serious committee. Diane Abbott, Linda Bellis, Martha Osborne, Mark Wasner, Andrew Young Gordon, Talal Kareem, Roger Mackenzie, the serious black politicians. And Narendra also held the position of National Secretary. Narendra was several things. A team player, a serious team player. That man never missed a meeting. He never picked a row with anyone, and he never had a row with anyone. And in the chair, he sought consensus as we had to move forward. Narendra was seriously strategic when it come to a statement on Libya, or how we take on the Black Socialist Society, or how we take on Neil Kinnock's Chuckey's proposal. Remember that one? Narendra was seriously strategic as to what we should do, and he was always right. And the man was seriously calm in a meeting, never got upset, and he always came out on the right side. A good writer, and black sections needed good writers. A good speech maker, and did we need good speech makers to articulate our message and what we were about. So black sections came out of the frustration of the lack of black representation. If you remember, before Diane and Bernie and others, the last black MP was in 1922 to 1929, when black section was set up in 1983. There was no black person in Parliament. Ridiculous. How does that reflect the British society at that time? No, it didn't. And we had to do something about it. We came out fighting. It came out of the 1980s uprisings. Nothing was given to us. We had to fight. We had to protest. We had to agitate, with Narendra at the head of it all. And in 1987, we won. We got 4 black MPs, yes. Diane Abbott sat where Enoch Powell used to sit, in Parliament. And it wasn't given. Diane deselected somebody, Bernie Grant deselected somebody else. It wasn't that anybody stood aside and said, let's have some black MPs in Parliament. No, Chuck, it didn't happen that way. It didn't happen that way. By the time he came to Scotland, things were much easier. Far much easier. And we saw a 500-fold increase in black councillors. There's loads of people sitting in this room who are councillors or are currently councillors. And Narendra, of course, was from Noel Park, Chief Whip in Haringey. And yes, Joseph Ejiofor. We had black council leaders in those days. Yes, Bernie Grant from Haringey, late Bernie Grant. Merle Amory from Brent, and the lovely Linda Bellis from Lambeth. Yes, we had to fight to get black council leaders. And we wrote the black agenda. It wasn't just about getting somebody a seat. It was about articulating the politics, the concerns, the aspirations, the attacks, the deportations. Yes, they were happening then. Arresting Cherry Gross and getting her killed. These things were going on. And we had to do something about it. But it wasn't easy, was it, Martha? It was hard. It was hard. You go to Labour Party conference with our T-shirts. Diane will tell you. Defeat after defeat after defeat. Those in favour of the black section motion, 2,000. Those against, 100 million. Well, that's how it seemed at the time. But we brushed ourselves off. We came back next year again. Composite amendment, speakers, and we at it again. Those in favor, 2002. Those against 150 million. As the trade unions and Neil Kinnock and Roy Hadley took it out on us. And you might have remembered that Sharon Atkin, Nottingham East, was deselected by Neil Kinnock. What a disgrace. What a disgrace. And the gracious Martha Osmore was blocked from standing in Vauxhall. I ran that campaign. Martha picked up every single ward and just beat them up. And then Neil Kinnock brought in this selection process where the NEC decides the shortlist. And they kept Martha off the shortlist. And then they handed the seat to Kate Hoey, the Brexiteer, who got one nomination, some from far away trade union that never existed. And Martha wasn't made the candidate. And of course, black sections up against the whole of Fleet Street, the whole of Fleet Street. Apartheid, separation. Don't you want to sit with white folks and make a decision? Aren't you going to make bad decisions if you sit as black folks? And on they went on like that. But we kept with it. Fast forward to now. And John MacDonald calls in Kingsley Abrams and Mark Roswell. And he asks us to do a number of things. And one of them was to set up Black Momentum. And Black Momentum. I'm coming to the end. Narendra was still giving me advice. One of the first person I went to get into the Black Momentum committee was Narendra. He said, Kingsley, look, I'm retired, but I'll advise you from the back. And did he advise me from the back? Instructions after instructions from his home. Please retweet. I liked it. He said, no, retweet it. And of course, remember one of Chicker's MPs made that racist remark about colored and slightly tinged black. That's how she described black people. The Ranger direct messaged me and said, this one is for you, Kingsley. I was busy, I didn't know it had happened, so I did one of my colorful tweets. And of course, last but not least, my last conversation with Narendra. Not easy. The 1st of April, 2019. I was applying for a job in Haringey, and of course I had to speak to Narendra about it before I sent the application in. It didn't sound like somebody was heading for an art attack on the fort. We went through the whole lot. The Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn, Diane Abbott, Mark Wadsworth, and he took me through it. Maybe he knew that it was going to be our last conversation. And then he went on to say, I've got to go, Kingsley, I've got to go and watch the IPL cricket. Because that was one of his big things, and those were the last words. Now you rest in peace, my friend. Thank you.